Congress swore in Pete Hegseth, United States Secretary of Defense. It used to be Lloyd Austin, who is no longer the Secretary of Defense. Now we got a new one. He's 44 years of age, and he was sworn in yesterday by J.D. Vance. It was a really good ceremony. Let me flip this around, see if we can catch it hearing on here. I want to see if we can get it. Let's see if we can catch him. Right here.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am so happy to be here today and so thrilled to be able to swear in our new Secretary of Defense, and we are honored to have him. Now, before we do that, I have to say a few words of appreciation. First, of course, to the President of the United States for nominating a person who is respected and adored by the warfighters. This is a Secretary of Defense who will stand up for the men and women that we send overseas to fight our nation's wars. I think a lot of them feel that they haven't had somebody who's had their back. That will change because the President of the United States nominated this guy, and we are grateful to President Trump for doing so. I also want to say thank you to my Senate colleagues. It turns out we couldn't spare one, and all of you did an incredible job. In particular, my dear friend Roger Wicker, thank you for shepherding Pete through the committee. Roger did a great job.
This is
And
swearing
in addition,
in.
all of the members of the Senate Armed Services Committee, who I know gave Pete the vetting and the hearing that he deserved, and I'm glad that we all ultimately decided that the president's nominee for Secretary of Defense ought to be our actual Secretary of Defense, and we're here today. I'm going to say one final thing. If you look at what has separated President Trump from so many of the people who came before him, it is the view that, number one, we should be sparing in how we deploy our most precious resource, which is the men and women who are willing to put on the uniform and put their life on the line for this country. We shouldn't send them everywhere, but two, when we do send them anywhere, we ought to empower them with the tools necessary to fight and win quickly and come home afterwards. And that is what sets this administration apart, and that's what Pete Hegseth represents. Now, finally, I, of course, have to thank the nominee himself. Pete, thank you for being willing to put yourself out there. I think you've shown yourself a man of deep character and of resolve over the last few months. Jennifer, thank you for standing by, our new Secretary of Defense, and your beautiful family, from your kids to the extended family. You guys did a hell of a job. We're proud of you, and we're glad to have you in Washington as we work to make America great again. So with that, let me administer the oath of office. Kids, come on up.
That's cool. He gets to bring his kids there, and they get to look at the swearing in. He's got around 6 of them. He's got lots of children, which is great.
All right. Hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand and thumbs down. After me. I, Pete Hegseth.
I, Pete Hegseth.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
The duties of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. All praise and glory to God. His will be done, and we're grateful to be here. And as I said in my hearing, it was Jesus and Jenny
I would not be here without you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I want to thank the President of the United States, our Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump. We could not have a better Commander-in-Chief than him. It is the honor of a lifetime, sir, to serve under you.
If you're watching, this is President Donald Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. And he got the nomination yesterday. It was a tiebreaker, and J.D. Vance, Vice President, broke it. Thank you for commenting. If you haven't commented, and if you're this far in the video, it's been happening lately. Almost 6 minutes in the video and no comments allowed. There's something going on. There is.
We look forward to having the backs of our troops and having your back in executing peace through strength, in putting America first.
Hey there, Jersey.
And in rebuilding
Hey,
our
Hazy.
military. Mr. Vice President, thank you for breaking the tie. It's not the last time, or not the first time the headline reads, Junior Enlisted Marine bails out Junior Army Officer. And, you know, some people were saying, well, 50-50, that's too tight. And Senator Mark Wayne Mullen was nice enough to take my kids up to the gallery to watch the actual moment that the Vice President sealed the deal. And they came running in, they said, Dad, instead of being sad about 50-50, 51-50, they said, Dad, you won in overtime. That's the perspective I like. So thank you throughout this process, Mr. Vice President, for being incredible. I also want to thank the chairman.
Hey, Rosie.
Of the Senate Armed Services Committee.
What you doing, honey? You look like a baby. Oh, let me get my little baby.
The advice, the consent.
Let's see if we can get Rosie.
The wisdom, the guidance. I look forward to working with all of you and other senators to ensure the Defense Department has what it needs, that our nation has what it needs, and that we're prepared to defend it in all moments. To my staff, amazing staff who were with us this entire process, I see so many of you through thick and thin. We used to look at the betting odds every once in a while on this. It was low at one point. Never do that. But we defied them. And there were so many folks on the inside and then allies on the outside.
There was a lot of people who did not want him as the Secretary of Defense because he don't have years and years and years and years of experience in politics, more or less. That's what I feel. But he was in the military, and I think that's a lot of experience. And he's going to have a whole lot of advisors, which is going to work perfect. It's good not to be too contaminated in the political world with all the people who, I'm sorry, there's too much corruption going on with inside. There's too much politics. It's good to have somebody fresh like that. It is, truly, who's not so tainted.
Who stood by us every single
Hello,
moment,
Judy.
and we are eternally grateful for that. And I want to thank the warfighters. I want to thank the men and women.
He does have a difficult job.
And I've said this before when I speak, and I mean it. Every time I stand at a podium and there's bright lights and cameras, the first thing that goes through my head are the guys that I served with on the battlefield. The men and the women who I lock shields with and put my life on the line with, who never get the spotlight, who never have the cameras, who people don't know what they did in dark and dangerous places. But I know. And at the Pentagon, we're going to remember and we're going to know. And we're going to think about those warriors with every single decision that we make. We will put America first. We will bring peace through strength. And the three principles I talked about are what we will bring to that Pentagon. Restore the warrior ethos in everything that we do. Rebuild our military and reestablish deterrence. We don't want to fight wars. We want to deter them, as you said. And we want to end them responsibly. But if we need to fight them, we're going to bring overwhelming and decisive force to close with and destroy the enemy and bring our goals. And to my other family that's here as well, who I love, it's the honor of a lifetime. And I would be remiss if I didn't know one person in this room who doesn't expect to be recognized, but Captain Rougeau is here. He was my company commander on my first deployment in Guantanamo Bay. He was there on June 3rd, 2003, when I first swore in as a second lieutenant at Princeton University, and he swore me in. And I wanted to make sure he was here today with me as well. Thank you very much. So, Mr. President, thank you very much. To the American people, we have your back. We're going to get to work right away. God bless. Thank you.
All right, I guess that's it. Any questions? Guys, let me answer that for the new secretary. All people in our armed services should trust him because he looks out for the...
Do you see what they did immediately? Why should we even trust him? Immediately, they had to throw a negative comment out. But that's okay. We got a vice president who can put them in their place. That's how I feel. Put them in their place. Seasons, could you see my comment on your last stream, Gina? You left a comment on Flower account. And not sure if you can see the comments by someone who's blocked. I wasn't able to see it. I didn't look at the live stream after it ended. I didn't, but I looked for a Flower comment on the YouTube channel after it ended in the comment section. There was only 3 comments in there. I think something is truly blocking people from commenting. Only 3 comments, I think, on that last live video when I spent an hour looking for the comments. Try it again on your comment, but they want to know why should they trust him?
Them, and he's going to fight for them. And he's going to make sure that we have the kind of military that we can all be proud of, that we can all be proud of, and that, again, when we send it to do a job, we do it well, we do it quickly, and then we get the hell out. And that's what Secretary Hegseth is going to bring to the Department of Defense. Anything else?
Are you worried about any of the nominees coming really close to the line as we saw with Hegseth?
You know, as I learned with the Buckeyes just a week ago, when you win the championship, you don't give a damn what the score was. We won the championship on this one. We've got a great Secretary of Defense. We're proud of him, and he's going to do a great job. Thank you all. Take care.
There they go. That was the Secretary of Defense being sworn in, Pete Hegseth. Yeah, which is, it's great. We got several more coming this coming week. I think it's Tulsi Gabbard. RFK. He's supposed to be up, and there's some people who do not like him either, probably because he's part of the Kennedy clan. Yeah. If you're just tuning in, welcome. There was a video that I did before this one. It's been around an hour ago, where I unblocked everybody on my block list and wanted to know if they could get a comment through. Yeah. Yeah, you try and do that, Seasons, to see if you can comment on this one on the Flower account after this video is over. Yeah, because when I went over to the YouTube channel, it's not letting comments come in on there on very many things at all. See, the last comment on my whole entire YouTube channel was 34 minutes ago. And we have 73,000 people on here. And the last comment out of 8,000 videos was 34 minutes ago. So, yeah, the level of corruption does run deep, Tyke. It does. It's all over the place. It is. So if you've commented, your comment didn't get through. It didn't. A lot of people's aren't. And look how they do that like there. There's nothing there. Nothing. No comments. 34 minutes ago. So they're blocking the comments, but that's all right. Yeah. If you commented, they're blocking it. It's just disappearing into Lord only knows where. Yeah, the YMCA and the Bible. You know that band that sings the YMCA? It's about the Bible. I've never seen the YMCA in the Bible. I haven't. But I wouldn't be surprised. But it's a good battle song, I think. Yeah. I'm going to go. And thank you all for tuning in. I hope to see you later. It's 4:30 in the afternoon, which is not too late. Cyberspace. Yeah, it's really weird. With a whole lot of YouTube channels, it's really hard to find comments. It is. Except it all depends on who you are and what you're sharing. They'll allow over 1,000 or so comments in. But certain channels, no, I'm sorry, you already get yourself labeled, and the comments don't go in. They don't. Let me see how this is going to look here. Let me look. I will look over here and show you the last video that we did. I gotta wait for this ad to go across. I just want to check it out, see if you can comment on it. It was this video right here. See, look, 1, 2, 3, that's all the comments. If you tried to even comment, y'all, I wonder if you all tried to comment on it, would it even allow your comment to come on here? It's nothing. Look at that, 1 hour ago. Yeah, so I'm going to go, and I encourage you to comment on after the videos are ended, just to see if your comments go through. If it doesn't, I would take a screenshot as you comment it, but literally what happens is you do it and it just disappears. They don't even let it come through. That's kind of messed up. It is. There could be some kind of glitching going on, but there could not be some kind of glitching going on, some kind of problems with the YouTube. Let me look at down detector. They don't always report everything, but there is major censoring happening. There is down detector. Let's see what we can find, if there's anything. You can normally do it. These are the ones that are having problems right now. Let's see what they're complaining about over here. Looks like they had a lot of stuff. Video streaming, server connection, and the apps. Video streaming. 21 minutes ago, the YouTube buttons do not appear complete. Many are hidden by the same graphics. It is impossible to press the validation button for some changes. I can't get onto the YouTube. The page won't load. The circle is all I'm getting on my tablet. It's still having buffering issues and stuff. They're having lots of issues. They are. No, it's crashing today. There's lots of trouble with YouTube. Probably getting revamped and stuff like that. The screw tube. Yeah. When you were in church, you know how we would put our hands up like a Y praying? Yeah. To the Lord? Yeah. You hold your hands up like that and pray? Yeah, I remember that. I do. I also remember, if you think of the cross and the symbol of the cross, and if you think of, that's with your hand stretched out too. It is with your hand stretched out. You make that symbol too with your body. I keep thinking I see Rosie up here, and I probably do. Yeah, the YouTube is having problems. And it's going to get to the point we're not going to be able to see everything that's happening on any of these devices. When Trump was speaking about the data centers, when they build them at the World Economic Forum, he was talking about when you build your data centers, build your electricity centers right next to it. That way, if the grid goes down, you will still have electricity and you will be off the grid, because that grid we got is an old dilapidated grid, more or less. He said you will still be online, you'll still be up and going, but you won't be tied to the old grid. So it tells me that the grid will go down one day and the data centers will be up, because they will be separate from it. So I'm going to go, and with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, and we gotta keep on going, you all, despite the energy that's out there, because it's out there. You can feel it. It's rearing its head, but that's okay. We can still stand. We can. It's not over yet.